Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here once again. We have a seat when we get a chance. Before we get started, I did want to mention the park and recreation staff for the center. We have taken your ticket. You have a receiving machine at front desk. So before you leave, you can very easily get your tickets. So yeah, again, thank you all for being here. This is we're hosting this training in collaboration with Federal Ventures. This is one of them. We have Kelly here. So I'll give her a little bit to so that my name is Frank McConnell. I'm part of the Aviation and Services team. And we try to have these trainings that it's once, if not twice a year. It's one of the do what we needed and try to do the best tool to have you all be successful in all the programs that you're having in neighborhoods. So yeah, Kelly, you want to give a word? And we are using the mic because we're recording this.
Hey, everybody, I'm going to join the interest. My own that's going to be aside. We are one of the your insurance on the forms and all that happens. And basically, we're trying to do is to make sure that there's a clear understanding about well, I keep everyone here really safe. We want them to do all of that information for them to system. Sometimes it's a little bit of a wait, but I'm going to go into this absolutely. Hopefully, I didn't all feel very comfortable about working with office. Okay, so tonight basically what we're going to talk about is how to do it, get donations, how to do some fundraising, utilizing the teams to help behind, but also being able to know within your neighborhoods and any kind of connections that you might have. So we're here to kind of make the brain to start thinking wrong about what we're being able to do. I'm going to go through the line once again and introduce, make sure that we've got company, we've got board members here that are able to talk and represent their neighborhoods. We'll go through a number of different kind of points that we'll talk about. More than anything at the end, we really want to have conversation. Or please ask questions we really want to make this such a conversation.
Hi everyone, I'm Martha. Sorry about the sound effects, probably the fan. So we want to make sure that for those of you who are pursuing funding, or for those of you who have current funding in our Santa grants for blocks that we manage, I manage, that you're able to access it. Some of you have had it for years, and so the point is we want to make sure that we verify the process, and processes take time. So it's in our best interest to let you know how to go about it so that you have less payments along the way, and you're able to be successful, and we want to be part of it. Thank you. And I also have, some of you have heard, we have an expanded role with neighborhood initiatives. We're also overseeing the management of the environmental justice policy implementation for our general plan. So you're going to see more of those if you haven't already. On opportunities to work with neighbors and consider environmental justice areas and resources available to make that all happen. That's all I'm making.
We just talked about charitable ventures, but I want you to kind of understand this. Santa Ana Adventist Walk is basically a nonprofit. They are under our secret. I want to get way deep into it, but basically what I want you to understand is we are the people that backs up anything that they need to do in Boston. You are the group that's talking to the Santa Ana for Boston. So just to give you a quick understanding, you guys all have a pay close with us. We can help with all of the financial. We do have reporting that we can help you with. There's something that we help you with. Basically what I'm going to do is turn you over and give you the impact of Frank and Marguerite panelists. So that you understand this team is your direct contact and very much the people you want to be in contact with. So as you can see, we might start because it seems like it starts there under charitable ventures. That's how all of this is moving and going. Santa Ana Adventist is the team known as you're going to work with. So please ask questions because I know sometimes working through that is a little bit before we get that. without staff employment.
All right, now we'll vote on Mayor Lou and Mark.
Hi, I'm Marta Rodriguez, Meredith Branch. I have served on the board of Conley for about 2 years now, and Meredith, year and a half. And we meet every single month at the Santa Ana Police Department Community Center. And it's the fourth Thursday of the month. It used to be at 7 p.m., now it's at 6 p.m. Made it a little earlier for everyone to be able to come out, maybe have a little bit of snacks, dinner, depending on our sponsors. We have different types of snacks available for y'all. It's a 1-hour meeting, and we usually work with we always work with these guys, with neighborhood initiatives, but we'll bring out city agencies to come out and explain to you guys what's going on in the neighborhoods. This month, our meeting is Thursday, and we'll be starting at 5:30 with a little bit of swing time before the meeting starts at 6. And our main presentation is a panel discussion about fireworks in the city of Santa Ana. There are people who are pro, there are people who really don't like it, but it's going to be an open discussion with the police department, the fire authority, MPNA, which benefits from the sale of fireworks, but also does environmental tracking. And we're also having Santa Ana Unified School District band, which is also a recipient from some of the purchases. So we can have multiple sides giving their impression about the fireworks in Santa Ana. One last thing, we are on social media. If you want to look us up on Instagram and Facebook, it's just Comlink, C-O-M, Comlink Santa Ana. And we're on social media, not super active, but if you ever want to DM us, you can reach us there, or you can go on the city neighborhood initiative website and go to Comlink, and then you can find all of our email addresses there.
Thank you so much. Get started, if you wanna do me a favor and jump to this packet here, we wanted to inform you of a new update to the guidelines. For some of you that have been part of the Center Extra Watch for quite some time, might find this form here familiar. The update that we are now going to be, as of this fiscal year, we're requiring at least 2 board members sign off on approval of expenses. Prior to this, it was just 1 signature. You submitted your forms when you were having your event. Now we're actually requiring 2. This was still the same, the second one, so we actually are going to be requesting that you walk through the budget and the event form completed and submitted to the staff that you're working with. We may be using the team. I know we're going to work together. For example, Ruby, she works with Alyssa. So work with the staff that you're with the current team. If not, you can see all of us, and then we'll ensure that we sign the project on the staff in our team. And the third one is, at the end, before you leave today, we are going to ask you all to sign and complete the acknowledgement of the annex form. You'll find it in this time that you take this training, you acknowledge that you got it.
So the reason why we're asking, like, some of you might be asking, why the change? The responsibility we realize having gone through more activities is it really takes more than 1 person to do a lot of these transactions, a lot of the planning, the decision making. We want to make sure it's not just 1 person. And sometimes there could be miscommunication, and so we just think the neighborhoods are better off on the staff, better off knowing that there is that collaboration and that communication happen. It's very easy for things to go sideways, and we just want to, in our observation, we're kind of approaching it a little bit more proactively. If you're in a neighborhood that doesn't have an official board, or is not more than
one or two, that's okay, there's someone working with me to plan the event, putting them on the decision making, and even on the signature is something that we recommend. Or some of the basic, obviously, like what you do versus donations, then next. The grant is based on, always going to be awarded by the company, the corporation, including the city, and the council. We've got all sorts of different grants that we need. Generally, a grant is going to require them to have an application, there is a waiting period for the award to be funded. And we'll be contacted by email. Oftentimes, with a grant, we're going to be requiring certain forms. So they need to know basically our information, including charitable vendors. So there are some information that you're going to need. Frankie has needs to have a lot of the detailed information already. But if there's something you don't have, you just reach out to me and so don't ever be overwhelmed by some of the cuts that are happening. A new one, for instance, is the SAM number. It was one that we all know about. Sorry, but now everybody's asking for a SAM. We've got it ready. So just reach out if there's any questions. Don't be overwhelmed by that. We've got whatever you need. It's there and ready. Typically, what they're going to ask for though is usually at the end, if not maybe once during the time of the funding. Generally, it's for 1 year. Sometimes you get a 2-year grant. So what that means is they're going to want certain reporting. Might be how you actually have extended the finances. So we have followed through with all of the costs that are being spent. If it's an event that you've done, we have that paid on your particular bank account. So we are able to pull those particular finance reports and send that in reporting. So again, don't be overwhelmed as you're part of the team, and we're very much able to work through any of those requests. And quite honestly, some of the funding that we received, we had a wonderful grant last year called VA 58. And it was basically $5,000. Maybe we wanted to report to them. That was it. After your event was over, they asked you to do kind of a wrap up of everything that you had done. And it's been really super exciting. Why don't I ask how do you basically we PD has an entire department that's dedicated to what's called development programs. We're always trying to stay on top of all sorts of various areas, knowing that some of them have particular needs or particular focuses. So we have our person who does that development, and they're working and trying to find any of the new grants. And the city is actually offering some grants, we can go over some of that. So it's all these just under the team, standing in the grant for loss, and then they're writing it and releasing out information.
Making this that sending those people that these grants are available, or they're more than facing results.
And what I'm going to do is work directly with the team. So you rarely will be hearing from me. You all are going to be hearing from Frank Willis. Those are the two that are going to be reaching out. As Frank mentioned, you and your neighbor list have one of the other Frank Willis, who is your person, your contact to work with. So they are going to be some way. We're going to tell you that you only got 2 weeks to put an application in. So the first couple of times you do an application program, it can seem a little bit overwhelming. And don't worry, these guys have worked a lot with the grants to move further. So we are here to help support, answer the questions, whatever you need. Tell you quite honestly, the second was a whole lot easier than the first one. We're here to support whatever you might need. We will keep up. And honestly, there's times when it's quiet. There are other grants out there. That's why we're going to talk about donations. And we'll keep that going. I just want to think there was something at the end. Oh, I had talked about the funding. I'm sorry, but it's important. So don't be worried about any kind of reporting. Sometimes literally it is just taking the event itself, talking through the various budget that you had, and then everything you spent, how many people were there, asking about the money, and asking about focuses, and you want that to them. You want to know how many people were there, how many of the dollars actually went straight into the community. If you know at the time you're doing there was a benefit to the immediate benefit, please note that. You would want to know for the next grants that you're writing, that there is this wonderful bounce, this wonderful bonus that the neighborhood got as being able to reach 500 people in the those are numbers and interests that you really want to know. Keep that neighborhood close. I think there is the right.
Yes, so the Arts and Culture, Commission has a special event sponsorship. So this is with the Community Development Agency. They have $200,000 available, during this fiscal year, 2023 to 2024. Eligible applicants whose events and programs support the city's mission and provide community benefit. And applicants are eligible for $15,000. Or to apply for $15,000. Neighbor associations are eligible. Applications are on a rolling basis. The deadline for submit application is the Monday of the week before the regular Arts and Culture Commission meeting. Let's see, sponsorship funds may be applied for with the following, which is the special event expenses, ongoing program costs, special event application, permit fees, reservation fees, facilities, or any other equipment owned by the city. And events must be completed before June 30th. If you'd like more information, we do have a link that you can visit, and we can also send out a digital copy of this presentation, and then you just click on the link from there. That's right.
You apply twice, but it's just one.
I think you can. That's a great question. I'm not entirely sure. I can find that information out for you. But I think you can apply up to $2,000. I don't know if it's like the, like $7,000 and then I can for $8. I really don't, but I can find that information for you.
No, our receipt reached out to your office directly, actually. There's a couple of staff that like besides from verified. I didn't want to twice was two different events, one
We can get more details and send that out to you.
So if the Arts and Culture Commission, are they looking for artsy stuff, or they just saying?
I think it's going back for the community benefit, this is specifically for like social events in the community. Right, so
It's not just one thing that will be involved in game or anything.
I believe so.
Another question, but let's say someone applied to that.
Yeah, the programming itself. The programming itself from the
It's like students.
yeah, it's fine, yeah. Yeah.
And the other questions asked, and we probably need to open this link and read through even in some information when you click on that link. Is to basically understand what you might need to do for 50,000 is to sit down and pick 2 weeks that you're going to do events. You're basically doing maybe one in the next 2 months and another one in 4 months. So you have a plan for 2 events that you're doing. You've got your cost, you're going to break it down. They would understand that the months that you're doing it and why, purpose, kind of what the entire community is laying down. So you really, your questions are more, you want to know what the things you want, how much culture needs to be involved, what are they, what keywords are you looking for? Read that movie, open it up, read what they want, if they're going to. And then just basically start to review what they want. It's awesome that would cover any permits, any of those other different costs that come up. That's fantastic. That this is not involved.
Good. All right.
Right. grants are one thing, we can talk about that, then you have to put it in the application. I call grants the calendar money. That doesn't mean you're gonna go to the event, ask for the money, you're getting it back. The grant means that you're putting in an application, it could be 2 months before you hear back, and then you have to send it within a certain hours. That's calendar money, it's just my term. Donations are very important. Donations are active. You are having events or you are going to be asking for donations for something specific that you want to do. And the answer will be to fund your bank account so that you know when it's coming up, you're not releasing a thing. And then going directly back to the. If anybody's got their phone, please pull it out. If you can zoom in, you can make it on that QR code. Would you please do that and click on the QR code on your camera and then click on it, or just stay focused on that. Anybody can stop at that, see the QR code right here, put your phone on that. Put your finger once it's focused, and tell me where you go to. Are you on already?
Yeah,
Where did you take me to?
it took me to the charitable event group website.
You see where it's asking for how much you would like to, so that how much a donation would be. And then it's also asking me, there's a one section that saying what neighborhood we want to donate to.
Yeah,
Okay, so basically, anybody from any of the neighborhoods is able to use this QR code at any time. So you've got a group, you've got an event that you're going to be at, create a flyer that has this QR code. You may have to have somebody there that's going to quick walk the person through, because it doesn't say immediately, you know, this is for our TV law or whoever your neighborhood is, and you do need to choose that. So you might want to have somebody from your team or scan that's crossing that drop down, that's us, $25 maybe. We on the CDN receive that money, it goes directly into your neighborhood accounts. They can do $10, they can do 5. We can set up the buttons that you see for 10, 15, 25, 100. Choose the amounts that you want to have on there. We can set that up. We really recommend the base 25, 50, 75, 100. If you want to have a higher amount, please, we are able to change the buttons.
So on the annual.
Basically, what you're asking for, we would be funding for your own neighborhood. So you're going to say something, you might already be at the, back of it, right?
So this would be for kids.
Yeah, this is just an example of like, somebody in the neighborhood is hosting an annual school supply drive. And if you want to donate to the drive, all that money you can donate, right? Could be fundraising for art classes for seniors, right? And then we just put it in your flyer, you have that whole thing, and people do that, right? So whatever it is.
So basically, and you've got people coming in from the backpack, so if somebody's wanting to donate $25, and you can also fix it on the same flyer, saying you're going to have all of these community for our program for the day on a Saturday. These funds will go directly to that. So you're working ahead on this. You're asking for donations on something you miss. We want to ask you, you're actually ready for something for the price. You can always say that we do this annually. And we want to make sure that we just not doing things, get that class and the business and the paper and everything with all of this. Okay,
Yeah, we had a couple of people come up with our asking what can we make for it. And we were like, well, we need to check, so they're like, how do we just be able to use it? So now this is maybe,
Right down the phone, you gathering right then, and it's not too confusing. How did you find it? Simple.
no, yeah, it was simple.
So it isn't any, please just use that QR code practice a little bit. You're gonna have to be the ones who's guiding the person that wants to be the money. So yes.
well, we're doing this, it's rated, so we, computer flyer, and then we can put that on there.
and then next to the delicious to you. It's kind of difficult. And the other thing to do, honestly, if you're after that packaging, you can have a flyer that's talking about the meals. Well, people want to do that. Just need to get this. We already have books on it, and we have information on the audience with the, and so we really don't have this benefit that this would make it easier to do that. Just put it on our file all over. One of the key factors of this is writing. It's available right at that moment. You want to get somebody more about it. That's exactly what the QR code is for. It's not going to take it to your individual neighborhood, but they get to choose it and see that it's going to go to the neighborhood through that QR code. We'll see. It's just basically going to the
neighborhood is not one that already in, how we get it.
coming to the meeting actually. Very simple. This is one of the easiest ways to install anywhere you are. You can have donations. Anybody's asking, you want to have right. $25. One of the other parts that we want to make sure that we do, and you might see it on your phones too, is that they need to fill in their name, their address. We need them. Don't let them say that. Because what we do on our end is send that letter that says thank you for your donation of $25 or $50 or $100. And then they have the right on pages. Without the address, you can do anything. So it's really important we have their name and their address to reach out to them.
You can still take the money, but you can't see the letter.
If you can send a letter, you know, and some people don't, but I would tell you about 90% do. I would say, you know,
The money, this is probably that question, the money is, has no string attached to it, it's donation. Like, if, you know, if they have, certain like, we want you to spend this on, you know, back to school backpacks or whatever, that's up to them to identify that, or like, how does that work?
there is a box, and you're actually bringing, can you see if there is, I wanted to go towards, I don't think there is.
I think it's right, like, one, you know, just like, everything, it's like, so,
Honestly, I really kept after her for years. And John Smith is standing in front of you and he's saying, we do want to have the ability to make sure that this $101,000 is going to go towards that event. And we want to make sure that when that happens, that Mr. Smith is understanding, yeah, your money is going to be ready to see that communication of that when you come after activity and you give the community and then a thank you activity. That makes such a difference. $1,000, $100, $50, whatever they need. So this is a much more, want to understand that you are personally meeting every one of these people, and you're going to say thank you, make sure that we've got their name on there, because it's not just us sending out that letter. We are actually expecting you as a neighborhood to send a thank you, literally. Handwritten, you can, technically, you don't like your handwritten, but reach out to that person. It's very simple, but my gosh, that makes all the difference. We get that official letter from us, at the neighborhood thank you, and sending a thank you. Right? Like to send out, part of what you can have is just a pack of thank you notes, and that gets sent out immediately after.
So we're able to get a list of the people that did donate with their information so that if we do want to do that, no.
Correct. We get all the donations and send it off to the team.
Oh.
They make sure to talk to me. No problem.
So that, I guess, if I, so they were to donate an event we had. How does the process work? Like you guys get it instantly, neighborhood board wouldn't know until we hear from who were the issues. Afterwards?
You guys saw a word from the
Yeah, so we do get, an actual report of students on a monthly basis. And so if you wanted to know what your down is, you go to the job board, it's better to know. And, we're going on the donation that goes in for sending out, and then we also, we found that word right now.
Well, let's say, for example, Yeah, the way that you were, you guys, like, second the wall.
That's a great question.
There is a big text that goes to, not a lot of these have, there was a calculation. But having everything go to the adventure is that should. That's a big edge.
Yeah, it's to be in the past. Maybe the situations like. Well, you're underneath. You're underneath.
We said there was all the.
Let me clarify, you won't do this in answering questions, I need you off the side of the head. You may very well, everyone in the name is two names. You may have the chair of the benefits bank account, where the donations are going in, and you may have another neighborhood association account that isn't uncommon. I'm only going to do it on that scene. You may have a whole other scenario, okay? Another thing that you're doing with another name. This is one of the reasons we've been talking about it over and over, that you want at minimum two people, somebody who's on the board and a treasurer. So that there's always two signatures, so financially you are clean, that you're making sure the money's coming in from this side of the in your neighborhood. So even if you questions it and see check the balance going on in your accounts. And we never just want to be one person working with the accounts. Is there a problem? Not gonna go as deep as the neighborhood accounts, but because we're going to incur this city and that's costs. So you all are part of the community. We are not calling them a bank account, we actually call them a class. You know, it's one of the main classes in the neighborhoods underneath the city and that's costs. Who is our fiscal responsibility. This is a lot like the business side.
I have to bring up a worry that several years ago, sort of had some information about the elementary. Said, anytime you see pulling up the neighborhoods, it wasn't only the game. That could be.
Yes, that's great. I think I remember having a conversation with one of those folks. What it is, each neighborhood has probably has something that does not have a specific account. The umbrella is the family Bradford Loss project, which is based on the agreement the city of Diana has with the federal government. So that's the project. So Fisher Park is not current now, so you would receive funding for future event. That's how they would be tracked, identified, and we would know how to do that. Your question is very involved. We're going to cover part of the components and all tied to this cycle of activity that the neighborhood will be planning. And so it's knowing what that process is so that you know, okay, this is what's eligible. So one thing is knowing what you want to ask for, because it's tied to an activity and event that the neighborhood wants to apply funding for, so that you can clarify with your membership or the public, hey, we're ready to receive the backpack donation fund, something like that. So if we can continue to push that part, and then we'll get back to the larger question about, you know, the accessibility of the financial communities. Is that okay?
Yeah, I heard things you talked about.
Yes, and I'm going to get a question back there.
Please ask for whatever, each neighborhood can. And the city hydrant, who's trying to ask for us. Is it not just because you did So thank you for getting to the point. So for example, I'm the signatory, not the city manager. So the staff is a signatory because we know these transactions are taking place. This account under receipt and the terrible has been for several years, and before that, it was with a different plan, but the idea is that, this is to give neighborhoods to keep the playing field, right? So that neighborhoods have access to more resources, to do a lot of things on the ground and have to work in the. Yeah, studying has not our, we've been doing, for the last 10 years, the business, projects and stuff, that we've got the grants from, and we got some good. And they have been very convenient in getting our residents. The only problem I have is to be more, organized. And asking for the right, items that we need for the event, sometimes we get a little bit. We forget to, mention a certain item or something like that. Then, you know, that was our fault, we were not organized, and that's why I had, really, going through what the items that you need, and I just had a met, 2 weeks ago, and it was a workshop on Chicano history, and, I got about the musician that I so excited, and then I told them, I didn't request it before. But if I would have requested it and I'll show them my flyer, then I did have musicians and I had speakers and all that. They have to comply to everything that was pending. And also, there's nothing prior to the grant money, they don't have the requirements. And if you have to show that you spend the money where to do what to do. So that, mainly the problem with it. And then by the time that they will get money away from the grant, that we don't do it in a certain time period, because they're gonna do it, to the event, that's how we specifically said it. But otherwise, I was just didn't know the right word, getting the money there, you know, like. It's nice of you.
Speaking of Ruby, this all came up because of what the Martina our neighborhood wants to do. Basically, what they're trying to do is like a t-shirt fundraiser, water, selling, create donations to go directly into the account. Okay, there's going to be certain procedures that we, first one, not even put in as CDs, making you want these because this is cash. And there's lots of forms of somebody being able to take that cash to spend for. Unfortunately, we live in. That's why we are requiring, as it shows on your map, two neighborhood leaders. It could be one of the leaders in some of the there to work with. You have to have 2 people in this match. We're talking probably, to clarify for me, is like $5 for a bottle of water. It's a donation for us.
Well, we were thinking 2, but you know, that's not good too.
I mean, honestly, they know it's something more, but it's a donation.
Because sometimes you might forgot, we were going to stay a certain time, and then, I specifically said the wrong, time, limit, so you need to set a person to kind of into that. Well, we put in stay at that, and to sell water to them.
Let's see what it was.
So I have a question. We're thinking about having, particular type of yard sign for when our houses reach 100 years old. And to pay for that, we're thinking about having it like, maybe not a donation, maybe you pay for it, but it's kind of a donation. So can they Venmo that maybe in some like charitable pictures?
You are preaching to me right now. I am.
That, you know, because you don't want it in your hands, you know.
The QR code, if you got that, is doing the same thing right now.
Okay.
I do not have any.
Just trying to the QR code.
QR code is gonna leave.
Perfect. Okay.
Everybody in this room, every neighborhood is gonna use the same code. Choose the
I
drop
get it.
down, with the link.
Yeah.
Now, you can understand if you're trying to sell 50 bottles of water, you don't wanna have like a filling out or name and address. If they're willing to not get $5, which they probably get less, they do probably just be able to go in, hand you cash, right? There needs to be somebody whose job it is to collect. Just like handicap, every you guys has heard of it, volunteering for forever, literally, any kind of this. cash is going to be an extremely different situation than it's quick. You're there at the event, you've got $5, everything, that's why we do 5, at least not a 5, right? Make it simple. So basically, you've got cash coming in. If you want to write down names of everybody who donated yourself, or if they could quick fill out a form, there is a form, a cash donation form. But what's more critical for our end, and for making sure that you guys are safe, is there is actually a form that we're going to have you fill out after. We're gonna literally count out how many $5, exactly what the total comes down to, breaking it down by $1, $5, $10, whatever you got, okay? If any of you guys have worked in the events to make already, it's very common, but you're going to have to have 2 signatures. It's not just one person who's beyond you who's been there. I don't know, logic and common sense is going to tell you absolutely has to be 2 people who have worked at it. Okay, that cash is going to be brought to the team. They are going to turn around and get it to charitable ventures, and keeping that same form, we have to get that and it goes directly to the neighborhood account. It's a lot more on each and every one of you to fill that out. It is. It's a quick donation. They may not even want to put their name on it. We understand that cash law. Cash law is going to be paid. So basically what we're going to tell you, you've got a QR code at that same event. Somebody can donate the $5 to a QR code. You've got it right here. But also know that if you want to do that, yes, you can. You're putting yourself at a little bit more at risk. We want to make sure that you understand being safer with 2 people from the neighborhood, and then making sure that it's co-signed and that and we can get to the team and that they get over to us, and you can see that that donation would be moving.
The QR code, if you're doing an event and you're asking for $5 donation for water, if they say with QR code, they actually the completion page, they did it, just, we don't get an email that's there, oh, they just did this.
You're right, if they know they give you that, they have to go back and it's really just have to do. To me, that's just like a cash situation. I don't think any kind of QR code where you're, maybe somebody's gonna do $25 or $25. That's well for them to. There's a little more to do with it. Please know that if we don't have the information, we can't send anything. We can't guess what it was. We won't have that piece. So maybe we can call back later and say, I didn't get a letter. There was cash. It has to be anything. They want some kind of. So it's not tricky, it's just a little more involved in large responsibility. That's tricky. It's cash. Fundraising, one of the you guys think is donations and fundraising. Fundraising is basically going to be where you are talking to maybe a larger picture of what the neighborhood wants to do. We're going to talk about street properties. Those will require donations. You might want to fundraise. You might be at a barbecue and you have talking to people about the fact that in the next 4 months, we are going to need $2,000 in order to do street toppers. There's a story written down about what the street toppers are going to do for you, but you need to raise. So it's important for you to fundraise. It's basically talking and telling a story about what you want to do and why for the neighborhood. It's that bigger picture, and you're really honestly talking to people, and you'll find that they've got a great interest in knowing about the history of Santa Ana. Maybe their family's been there for 4 generations. And those are the people that want to give for that. That's the kind of fundraising I'm talking here. All of this still deals with donations, but a fundraising is more of storytelling. And you're going to go out into your community, and you're trying to raise probably a large amount of people. Some of it could be a grant. We're talking about the street promises, that might be paid by a grant. But in the bigger picture, it might be reaching 500 people who are doing $25 each to try and get. Always happen. I would always make sure that anyone who has donated is doing that. We're at $2,000, we're at $1,000, and we have 1,000. It could be by a letter that goes. I would make sure that those folks who are funding courses, something in the future knows where you're at, how much has been raised. And you're now pushing for the final 500 and pushing for the final 1,000. You can see that is really kind of great. You already know this, but we don't
council member, all of them going for beds, right? Maybe even or give a letter, you know, asking them if they can donate.
Yes, we actually have, I do want to acknowledge that we have an assistant or customer van with that one. Yes, so all, city council members, you have. And the restricting funds to the, fundraising events, we have to go to, city's website, there is a form to fill out. You select which number you want to purchase funds from, and then you send it off. Well, this, for the kinds of things you have where we usually not apply to use the fund. Sometimes you will tell us, hey, you were the funds, we got the verification that we're seeing money, then that's how we're usually notified. It's just due to the fact that it's in every office, people want to have that. There is that possibility for you to area.
Those funds go into the CD account?
Yes.
Nowhere else.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is kind of your three, right? So there are maybe we can get around federal and that have what for their.
So I'm going to balance it.
Yes.
But if you're around that.
Yeah, we
From our local, before you our local restaurants, from an event. And until you said, and I would like to give a letter to them, when we have a committee, the restaurant we donated the food to. Thank you.
What I thought you meant was Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they do 20% or the whole thing of the night, and even for instance, fire, that money goes to your neighborhood, is that?
No, I went to them, to ask for funding for lunch for the event, art with them. And as they give us the room, 100 euros, to us. Is that, I would love to say something to them, something about it, isn't that a donation to the homes?
It's an in-kind donation versus a cash donation. So yes, we are able to acknowledge that the difference is if you're going to receive a letter that says you've donated $500, and this is confirmation of our IRS somewhere on there, versus an in-kind, it's just slightly different. Yes, we absolutely can do that. In-kind is you are going to have to show us the value of what it is. If it's burritos, you know, are selling for $8 each, and they donated 500, we just need to see like the menu that shows that cost, the value is there. And then
not going to other businesses, what's about businesses, but that's. And then the time, because that was usually popular, it comes from, and a lot of people are not aware, obviously, that's why I didn't know it even. So.
it's just the verbiage on the road is going to be slightly different. This is called in-kind rather than the actual. It's basically still the same thing. We had another one of our projects on the city and French Lux, who did one of the e-bike groups have donated free the whole day rental, so they were able to like give away 3 different free rides on e-bikes for a day down the one. So yes, and we took the value of that. And said,
I thought near the bottom of the local restaurant, and cities and after the freedom of those to bring a lot.
Are there any questions that basically a lot has been split out? There's a grant, which is more of the calendar kind of money. There's donations where the fee would be very quick, like Pat's been talking about, or you basically can utilize QR code and you're talking to people right there, wherever in your neighborhood is putting on something. You always want to have an ability for them to click on that QR code and put donations into your neighborhood bank, right? And then fundraising is where you're probably going to have $2,000 in order to do X. You want to be able to work on the mural, you want to be able to do street toppers. So there's a number of different things. So we really have different ways of going about speaking to anybody who's at your particular events. We do a long-term like that. If you find out that you have a great interest, of course, we're going to start talking about this bigger picture, this bigger longer. But fundraisings that you're trying to do. Maybe you want to be part of the team and actually fundraise for that kind of person. Always ask. Always ask. It's in, but always ask. It's so surprising. Any other questions?
Yeah, this is actually one of the slides that carried over from our previous training. These are just fundraising or event ideas. These are some of the events that some of the events that were posted. But you know, these are definitely great ways to look at the door to start fundraising goals or capital campaign. Kelly was sharing. We have like neighborhood cleanup events are usually a great first step. We are able to coordinate those with it with our office, and then we have a table, you might have some bread or some donut. We have, you can notice those cards with the QR code to see, okay, if you want to get more involved with this information for our neighborhood, here's a link we want to donate, things like that, right? Fuller, straight starter, and some starter, affinity too. All right, so the really requested area within our office is everyone wants to know about the name of the street hopper sign. As you all see, I mean, you might be able to see better on your computer, but there's a Willard neighborhood like image that's from their hopper. There's also the people hole, so people will maybe start there. And our two people are just unveiled theirs 2 weeks ago. So if you haven't been by the neighborhood, you might be able to see it off of the Civic Center and Race, right? And so there is a process. Approximately the price, it's subject to change due to various factors, but as of right now, the approximate cost for 20 street hoppers is $1,500, and that includes brackets to be going to install, right? One thing that Public Works agency let us know is that the locations of those street hoppers, they have to follow California state traffic laws, and so they can't be placed on traffic big sign. They have to go on top of the current street sign. A big street sign, and that's why those brackets are so illegal.
So what do you think is your thing? I mean, does the money go from street from to Public Works?
So we are the ones. The only time Public Works is involved is when they're installing. So yeah, so if you want to put an order, you fill out your event, your budget with us, and then we walk through, the location. We do have to select the location. Public Works.
20 years. So what's it?
Public Works will then have to we'll send locations to Public Works, and they'll say, yes, this is a good, this is a good location for the sign, or whether no.
So these are, they need to be purchased, that's what I meant.
It should be.
That would be.
Yeah, it should be. If it's approved on.
And it's quite big, this is important, see that it's not going to be consumed or taken home somewhere behind doors.
I think one of the challenges that we encounter as and also the institution leaders is when it comes to the art. So it says right here, the draft, even the drafted design, we want to let you know there is no artist, no artists are required to design it, however, that's if you choose to do that.
Love a graphic artist.
Yeah, so then there's no cost, but there's other much required. That's usually the focus of
So we
cost.
can, okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yep. Yes.
In your process, is there any type of neighborhood approval, neighborhood have to weigh in on what kind of signing?
Early, yes, that is a great point. Early, you bring this to you, we meet with the association, we share the project, what's the benefit of it for the community is gonna be, and then you go through design, if it's gonna be designing the house, if you're gonna need something from outside, things like that, and you want to kind of discuss. You wanna have it, come up in your meeting and share, throughout the process, very similar to, the funding, and like, we're at this stage, where it's second part of the stage, you went through those steps with your constituents, with the residents.
And the department did that, we had contests,
Yeah, and there are some communities that's, in the past have done it differently, where they just use something like the board members, they're the ones that decided, right? But preferably, yeah, we want to have this be a public, a process that for the decisions to come from where it is.
Thank you, Martha, for that question. So even though we're not requiring too strong to implement that process, in the past, we relied on board members who were this communication. And that helps a lot, but when that's not the case, we've seen it again very nicely, even on the project that's utilized as a student honor. We would also often, in terms of, opportunities to work with artists, like these factor in, and I'm not thinking of Shell, this is actually in general, right? There's an expectation for compensation, for the design of how the artist wants to feature a logo that they're designing, where, what conditions, all of that is so more that side. The way that we have it set up with the vendor and CWA, it could be ordered, the vendor has the ability to design something. And as long as, the neighborhood or the board at the very least or something agreement, then we can move forward. They have seen some situations, but not all, where things have gone sideways. And that's where we're like, okay, how can we improve the process so at least there's more transparency and there's more of some of that forward thinking in terms of how we want the process, to be allocated. And these are, key costs, these are funds that were donated and provided to neighborhoods for the doing neighborhood building events and activities that would bring them to them. Also,
One question.
The same, this will be an environment.
Yeah, so our suggestion from our office is to, we usually advise to get 2 extra buffers, just for that team, if they were to be someone who needs to be replaced. But yeah, after that, you have to just send a pay for yourself. I don't think the vendor or the people of insurance for that.
and the city doesn't have insurance.
Yeah, we don't.
So, what you got earlier is CWA, and hey, there's $1,000 in my account, and I get a check, the answer is no, right? Get a check, it has to be issued to whatever his event, right?
Yeah.
But my question is, if we were to say, hey, we're going to spend X amount of dollars that safely, can you put something in place where you say, because you're not sure what you're gonna order or whatever, something like Sprint card or, something to the effect where the Staples card, $25, and you're gonna submit it with a receipt, then that would be ordered and have to need it. Is there that opportunity?
Yeah, so we do ask all the different programs, if you're creating your event form, it's for this budget, right? And to be, as accurate as possible when you're using, try to bring in, even if you have to add a little extra, just so you can have that cushion, you are 100%. You actually won't be physically, well, honestly. So the way that we've done in the past is we accompany you to, let's say, want to find on you to buy 100 pumpkins for your event, right? So we'll be there, we will physically purchase it for you, right? You'll go out and get everything and then we'll be there to be for the things. So I think what you're saying about the big part of it, I don't think that.
And it's an important point that Frank just said, the debit card that's going to be used for any every one of the neighborhoods only gets seen and spent on. So you have to understand, we will be working very closely, but first is that event budget. You're gonna break down everything that has to come along with the description and everything that will go on. My job is to basically start collecting everything that's on that form. Are you gonna need more insurance? You know, is it this, is it that? I think just these guys have a lot of questions. Normally they are very, super experienced at this point, so we know what questions to ask. But that money is basically going to be these guys, those funds. So it's very difficult. Questions on it.
I know that you guys have a budget for each day. Can you just let them know what's the budget that we can spend? Like for our Christmas event, we had it going to because we had a budget.
That was just to the critical limits. But in that case, we do communicate with Turtle Ventures and they notify the bank and that's when we raise the limit, but there's always going to be a limit that we can go past.
The debit card is something that is super controlled. So, and especially when you get cards, even the stores will limit it as to how many you're buying.
No, I mean, the amount you can spend at the store, the amount we have, what they can say, today. Our total was gonna be the same, $4,000. So today you can spend 1,000 and then the next day another 1,000 and it's not like.
And honestly, one of those ones you're back to maybe enough is you've got really good experienced people here who do work and network with each other about what everybody's got a ton of experience, everybody's got a ton. There's people here who have done a lot, it sounds like you've done a lot of that too. Make sure that you know each other and that you can reach out, if it's something you haven't done before, ask these that may have already done that. That kind of networking is going to be so important. The frustration level goes to me down, not that I think it's highly frustrating, but just that from you. You know, I mean, that and hopefully make that look easier for everybody involved.
So, going back to, you're buying pumpkins. So you're saying that you're gonna make the purchase. Well, how does that work? So you go to Northgate or Trader Joe's or also copy photographs.
Photographs large, and while you go 2 months beforehand, and then you ask them for the neighborhood, like they have running now for the community, and they give you 20% discount, and then you go and talk to the produce guy, asking.
Okay, well, that's another. Like that, and no, I'm saying we're gonna buy something chalk for sidewalk chalk project, that's not one of my talents. So, you know, you find out how much it is, you know, how many quantity, and then we tell you it's in the budget. So how do you actually make the purchase?
Yeah.
I don't have to put the money out, right? It's gonna come, if it's approved, it'll come from Turtle Ventures.
Yes.
How do you actually make the transaction?
Yeah, so I'll either myself or Alyssa will go with you. We'll meet you at the store and we'll process the transaction.
Okay, great.
And
You know, faster, you would go an hour before, 30 minutes before, get everything and then.
Yes. That's in preference, you know, like if you're making a really large in bulk purchase that you need to get multiple carts of things. You know, we just go there and tell them, you know, we're gonna be there 2 hours before, we're gonna get everything ready, and then we just show up and pay for it.
Okay, that's it's an online purchase, like if we're purchasing lawn signs and you can only do it online through Staples because they're custom, then how's that? How is that being?
Yeah, we just let us,
Your office maybe?
yeah, you let us know, you have a link or anything, you have, sometimes there's like an invoice that we can pay for directly. You know, if some a vendor already gives you a link, you know, we just process the payment. through.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask the awkward question, no reimbursement process.
There is no
I
reimbursement.
have to say that really loud. We cannot, literally cannot, and won't, because we can't pay you that. We're so totally-
There is no reimbursement.
He needs to don't spend any money, we cannot pay you that.
Okay, sure. So I run an organization, voluntary organization, and I'm the only one who can pay rent. And, there's a big complication. So,
North of Universal Development. So I understand what's going on, this is totally makes sense to me, everything you're saying, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, so like we're exactly like we're. So I think that, so how much time do you spend buying things from people with the neighborhood right now, because it sounds undoable. to me.
Yeah.
We're just getting started, right?
So, yeah, I mean, these projects are kind of year round, you know, we're already participating, that's what we're working with you all months in advance, you let us know who's that event for, you know, when your event is, so we're already anticipating and making sure that at least one of us will be able to make the purchase.
Okay, and so this is kind of multi-part, sorry. There's an ultimate question here. So and there's the logistics behind like meeting with the store or getting the stuff that you bought on Amazon for us. So you want this and this, like that just, all that coordinating needs to happen and you work in a job, not like you're a volunteer working the weekends. So that means we probably need to work with you on how we get things from you, and we all work too. So this sounds, I understand the process, but I am quite concerned that if we decided our neighborhood is not what you're mentioning right now, and if, but I'm seeing the process is very complicated and requires a lot of our own personal time during the work week probably to coordinate like getting these things.
Correct.
So it's a very big disincentive. We're already frustrated by the idea that we have to spend all this time permitting all these processes. And this is a huge time pass on neighborhood. They're trying to build community there. So that's my biggest concern. I think it's a wonderful process. My impulse is to say, get together to do all this. But when you get to the logistics of having to work with friends to buy, you know, tabletop for an event, it gets a little bit unwieldy and difficult to, unless you're a retired person, which happened, many of my volunteers are retired, but I worry about that.
So this team is very serious. I mean, they're gonna walk you through this stuff and they know what to do. The basically, I think this program is on 10%. This is everything that we thought was communicated directly for me. It isn't as unwieldy, I think, as you would be hearing right now. And it's, yes, there's gonna be work. I don't want to continue that, but it's not crazy. I'm sure there's moments when every one of you is going to.
Definitely very challenging, but our goal is that, and then what the team, it's pretty solid. At certain times, like multiple neighborhoods are hosting, like say during the Christmas time, they're all the Christmas events, right? And we're working with them all, like, so.
I actually think it's a great job. I know you, I adore you for this, but I just like. I think it's a really, all this sounds great, like the process is kind of perfectly reasonable and totally remind me of work. It's just that, I just worry about how hard it is compared to what we do now, where we just like, okay, you buy this, you buy that, all this comes together. It sounds like it's a lot more work, but the benefits of it is that you can help us.
How many events have we put on?
We do, the idea is maybe one plus.
Yeah, Raggedy has a valid point. And I agree, because the point of this training is so that you meet halfway, right? And so that you are able to make a decision that you want, this is something that you want to consider. If you're hardcore again, you're fundraising, and you could have your own project sponsored under CBOC, and you don't want to go the nonprofit route yet, that is an option. So it's just something to think about. The policies are much more involved. I think that when I first started managing this project, when my colleague Scott had retired, it was more flexible, there was state and university, all of that. And that's changed. As I was sexually responsive, so I do not want to get into those details, but it's almost like there is more connected of our neighborhoods when it comes to planning for events. And so our office views that the more that we can convene and have conversations and kind of get it sync about what to expect early on, the better off that
we'll all try to be as we're navigating process as we are too. So I just, I'm in agreement with the points, the observations. And, but the more decision making that can be made, beforehand, I think we'll be able to definitely meet you halfway and make sure that your events and activities, are pulled off to the best ability that you may, accomplish.
I mean, I honestly feel like there's a point, and I mean this sincerely, where I will turn around to them, and I'm often talking with some of you guys directly, if it gets too, go direct to this, I'm going to thank you. I'm sincere. I'm gonna thank you, because what you guys do and the differences you're making in your neighborhood is so important. For the next generation to see what has happened in the past in your neighborhoods is everything. And that's what this group is doing. So truly, you're going to hear, the scenes. Thank you. You guys are doing a lot. Yeah. It's that simple, but thank you for what you're doing. It's you.
Yeah, I heard that.
I have a question that's sort of partly more from the city. But it has to do with parks and recreation, so I forget that. But a lot of the process used to be with these parks. Let's say you're gonna have 20 people, like game of park, and you can have 50. Or the city now, use the cabinet over a community meeting. In the past, it's been more the city ways of things for permit. And there have been permits required, I have just a couple of people. But I know recently the park department has started requiring permits for 6 people that have a picnic. Or commission is a park. We're sweet for that. So it seems like things we go to charity ventures. And the neighborhood really needs to events that say, "Who events?" But then it sort of circulates back again to the city for the permits. It used to not be required. So that's kind of a worry that everything requires a permit, even things regulation, it's the permit process. It's can be pretty loose to the point of getting the county involved to get like you're passing out an obstacle. We have the health department and the fire department with permits also. So it's kind of, and that's taking a lot of time. It's not quite a cost with that, but it's a lot of time that doesn't seem like it really needs to be brought up. It sort of comes from the city to the neighborhood, back to the city to give the permits, and then the process to seem like that's sort of gotten out of control. Where 2 people in the park can be fit. It's county health department and fire department and city permits no problem. And then it's paid back to the city. So
Yeah, like the Parks and Recreation agency or executive staff, have decided to change up the permitting process. Unfortunately, that doesn't fall under our agency. We don't have any say. And I believe it was city council discussed this particular topic at the last meeting and share their what they stand for the direction that they're getting. City manager and the director in terms of staff. Very
I get involved, but it's all like. Well, the situation is that the interpretation of the special events policy, the adoption, and we're hearing about it in other circles, not just, here at fundraising, training, but it's in other groups that are trying to carry out activities. So part of it is, the interpretation, the requirements, and how it was actually before, I remember it wasn't reporting, could be gathered, right, and it's not. It did not require the special event application, but I think now the Parks Department and the city in general, through the special events office, they want to just know what's going on, and there's other requirements, like our office taking the lead, working with the business life to try to centralize the neighborhoods associations having business license, but we don't wanna roll out here, sign this form or please fill out every component. We're trying to streamline it around. At least we can save some time there, and we're working with the business license staff, but these are just like more requirements, and I can understand the level of frustration when it comes to some of the onerous, like time, that we need to review something else, and so that's just the reality. But in terms of the policy, the special events, let's say a council member wants to, or let's say you request city support through this council special event funding for use of the cabin, for your special event at a park. So the way it wouldn't be funneled through CBON, through charitable ventures, it would actually be done internally through the city crediting the department, which to my knowledge have not been done before. So again, that's like another clarification that we're being provided to the city manager's office so that we can let neighborhoods know for any upcoming events. Let's say you want to use the city council special event process separate from arts and culture special event process to pay for some of these additional expenses that you did not anticipate this year. So that's like another.
The other thing from my side is to recommend that in your planning for the year, if you have one admin heavy event, it's going to be, you're going and facing that straightforward, and then do 2 or 3 other events that are added on. Balance yourself out throughout the year, because in the year it's going to end up having to do so much of the work. We are here to support, but make sure that you're not overwhelming yourself by what you're choosing. And if you do a larger event, if you do a couple of smaller, just take the weight off. Just make that flow simple, just doing fundraising if you can. So give yourself like a super.
I just don't see, considering we do small events, and I don't see what admin like that is.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
like literally across exchange, somebody puts out a table and as people come to bring vegetables and give fake vegetables away. And the Parks and Recreation insurance permit of $125, and I had to go to the county and say, do I really need a permit from the county to do this? They said, no, but they should do this. So I really appreciate it. And I think you can tell that was something that's frustrated. And I think that this is great. What we're here to learn about is fundraising and process, and then like the potential for what you could do in your neighborhood, given these grants and funding and insurance and the protection and the process help and you all is amazing. And I just think that we're coming from a neighborhood that's been doing things for a long time, but they've been kind of simple and throw together. And this is a different thing than what we've been doing, and then we're struggling with all the new stuff. But it's really good work, and we appreciate it.
So, sort of a real life question. Say at our neighborhood meeting coming up in September, I'm of the understanding that we can use some of the charitable ventures money to have pizza at our meeting. How would we do that? Do we order it and have it delivered and then Margarita pays for it? How do we do that?
Yeah, so that's something that you submit a special event form for us. You budgeted, ideally you need to call and kind of get a sense of how much it's going to be for the amount of you want to order, and then we'll put the order in. We'll make the payment.
The night of the meeting.
Yeah, we'll make sure.
Correct,
the event form will capture all those details.
And then, some city staff isn't always there.
Yeah.
So then you have to.
So we'll make sure, we'll make sure that everything gets delivered on that day. We'll pay for everything and.
Oh, you can do it prior line of.
Yes.
I assume advanced coordination is
Yes.
recommended.
Correct. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
But then if you're doing it with city facilities, make sure you get a health permit from. the
Yeah,
county.
we do it at the school, in the auditorium. That was part of the question, but I was just, I was gonna ignore that.
I mean, we can ask in general, not just say, oh, it's at this neighborhood, but just to get a sense of, what.
And
we
they're
have-
elementary.
We have some neighborhoods
Does it
that,
have cake there?
we have cake there, that's right.
Or one cup there. But yeah, I don't know about pizza. All right, so we can link it on.
So this Thursday, calling, will be at the Santa Ana Community Center, 6 o'clock. We're going to order some donuts as we usually do from different locations or, food. And so I sent an email to Linda, letting her know, type of donuts, phone number, tomorrow I'll place the order and she'll just call them and say, hey, the order for Tom, I'm gonna pay for it, don't pay, for the order of donuts.
Okay.
But that's great, right? And
Oh, to me.
Yeah. That's not what you can do.
yeah, and then the other is, you have a list of allowable expenses, because I learned from, Felipe and Marta over at, from Anita, hey, they can purchase this and that and all this fun stuff, and I didn't know that you could do that, and I would love to be able to do that more calmly, as, just, for neighborhood associations, and we purchase sometimes gift cards, or, door prizes or whatever, to give away to the leaders that come to the meeting. I just have one, I would love to be able to have that. And then the last one, is 18 on your list of, drop in, right, your QR code, and there's 18, we have 64, neighborhoods and Colony's goal is to reactivate, the ones that are not activated. So what happens when it ramps up in the next 2-3 years, and, you have it on, 40, neighborhoods. At what point would you then, right, and say, well, we're gonna take it, well, we need to streamline this process, to hit,
and all I was is that we can have.
right, but like, get them, knowing the today meeting, you kind of address it, we'll think proactive and say, hey, you know what, maybe we can do some script cards, maybe we can allow you to, go through here's $50 script card for staple, and then your meetings, you'll be able to show back to me for your monthly meetings, something like that, or saying like, oh, now I need a pen, now I need.
I get a lot of my $50 sessions that cost me water and water cookies and plus pizza.
Do I need 2 signatures for pizza?
Yes, of the new process, yeah.
Yes?
And I would organize it around like a monthly or quarterly, general activity. So it's not just like, it's not just like the time, but it's something that, like, let's say each neighborhood meeting, there's a decision for working on the circular event form, council would be like, every 2 to 3 months when the neighborhood has a meeting. So it's a little bit more spelled out for council. We we get the call, oh yes, it's part of what the neighborhood wants to accomplish within the next 6 to 9 months.
Got it.
That would happen.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have snacks at your neighborhood meeting? Do you need a permit? Okay.
Yeah. It depends. For example, like this food that's pre-packaged already, like you don't need a permit for.
Parts of that program this month.
You need a permit for served.
For serve, yeah, caterer, yeah.
Your food. But if it's every year, there's a whole lot.
I don't think we have a common meeting. We had Sunday in, right, well, we're gonna go Sunday.
Thank you all again for being here, take your time, hopefully that we got something out of the year. Are gonna be able to apply it, the system will be working for your. By your.
No, Alyssa is the one who told me about it, but she might point contact for these things, and you are for the
No.
other thing, okay? You too?
You are, I am the contact.
Okay.